It would be lively today when the president of Iran spoke at Columbia University here in New York. We did not know he would attempt to give as good as he got. A lot of people didn't want him to speak, but no one predicted he'd be as combative as he was. He walked into a verbal attack from his host and tried to turn that around by saying Americans have the wrong impression of him and his country. We begin here tonight with our chief foreign affairs correspondent, Andrea Mitchell.
Facing protests at every stop.
2, 4, 6, 8, Columbia's not a place for it.
Stop him now! And a city gridlocked by security. Iran's president tried to overwhelm his critics, but at Columbia University, the school's president took him on.
Mr. President, you exhibit all the signs of a petty and cruel dictator.
It was a blunt indictment, a litany of charges, including supporting terrorism, arming Iraqi militias, human rights abuses, developing nuclear weapons, and denying the Holocaust.
When you come to a place like this makes you quite simply ridiculous. You are either brazenly provocative or astonishingly uneducated.
Ahmadinejad was combative, rejecting what he called insults, trying to knock down each charge, arguing with his accusers. Columbia Dean John Coatsworth.
Why is your government providing aid to terrorists?
We don't need to resort to terrorism. We've been victims of terrorism ourselves.
Do you or your government seek the destruction of the state of Israel as a Jewish state? And I think you could answer that question with a single word, either yes or no.
You ask the question and then you want the answer the way you want to hear it. I'm asking you, is the Palestinian issue not an international issue of prominence or not? Please tell me, yes or no?
And doesn't he persecute homosexuals?
In Iran, we don't have homosexuals like in your country.
At the UN, Israel's foreign minister led a protest against Iran.
Iran is not only a threat to Israel and not only a threat to its neighbors, but a threat to the entire world.
President Bush arriving in New York late today, and European allies will now try to take the stage back from Ahmadinejad. Even as some experts say the administration has focused too much on the Iranian president, when Iran's real power is its religious leader and commander-in-chief, the Ayatollah Khamenei. Tonight, President Bush is considering tough new U.S. sanctions against Iran, even if the United Nations does not go along. As for Ahmadinejad's public relations campaign, he's clearly trying to change world opinion, even if it may have backfired with his American audiences today. Brian?
And Andrea, that raises an interesting question. Is there any way of knowing how this all plays back home for him, and how does he play back home as a leader?
Mixed audiences. The masses like his arrogant style, his rhetoric, and they like the idea of nuclear power. The elites are more concerned. They're concerned about economic problems. So he is losing some of his political base, and the real power, as we say, is with the Ayatollah.
Controversial visit by a controversial guy. Andrea, thanks.